Part 2, readings of 28th of March 2024. Charlie just ran over the keyboard and blipped us off somehow, and so I'm back. I was just saying in the end of video 1 that not everyone in the Brisbane Jewish community are evil, and that there are still very good, kind, noble people who did fight for and defend me over the decades. But unfortunately, they are too few, and I don't want to be praying in a congregation of people who are so malevolent and rotten and dishonouring towards my spirit that praying there feels like hypocrisy and like being emotionally whetted and whelped and tortured. And I used to put myself in that position. For about 30 years I would hold my ground as a Jew and continuously swallow my pride and go and pray to the Holy One in that space, until eventually so many supernatural and weird things happened. I thought, I can't do it to myself anymore. I have to honour my own soul. So here I am, honouring my own soul, making videos for YouTube and living my best life, right? Anyway, I'll continue with the reading of 2023. So now I have 20 or so religious books that even the rabbi rejects as they come from my home. Well, that was not necessarily true. It's just that he didn't reply. I decided to get hurt feelings about it. So, to be fair, that was a little bit of projection on my part. But anyway, I continue writing. No, I can give them to someone else or bury them. No big deal. Anyway, I started feeling a bit thought disordered, thinking about the dreadful setups, at least 2 in the past 5 years, and the awful games people thought it was okay to play with my life, heart and soul. Not just in my own Jewish community, but at drumming with Richard, blowing smoke shamanically up my arse by being overly conciliatory and even flirty in the presence of my love interest. It got the results he thought it did: insecurity, jealousy and sabotage, laughing my ass off. And why I'm laughing at that is that's a common thing when I get involved with a man. There's usually very early in the piece so much fucking sabotage from either them personally or their other, romantic flames or friends or family or business associates, that I can't continue with growing the relationship, and it gets very toxic, very distressing and very evil very, very quickly, and knocks me off my perch, and sometimes it takes me weeks, months, even years to recover, as what happened with Dave, 9 years ago. It was just so fucking putrid. But anyway, continue reading. Then he ran away to Mullumbimby, this mutual friend called Richard, right, who was a shaman, by the way, so should have treated me with a little bit more bloody decency and honour, since I too am a shaman. Thinking I would not realise I was being played for a fucking dickhead fool. But as my darling Lynn said when I told her, is it good or is it bad? I had to laugh. Every time I get my hopes up about my beloved unattainable one, some foul creature soul-ridden from hell sabotages. So I did my own sabotage, of course, as it is what I excel at, and rang Dave myself last Monday. Well, I've stopped that. I've learnt it is just I might as well slice myself open and suck the pus out and spit it in a puddle somewhere. It's just so self-defeating to bother with people like that who are so evil and putrid. It's a waste of my precious life force and energy, and they took enough from me, by the way. He was obsessed with discussing Richard. I found that actually very telling, by the way, how evil they are, that they're even spiteful and jealous at the thought of me even having friendships with other men. But they didn't want me. They just wanted to fucking torture me on some level. That's how sick and depraved and evil they were and are. I told him he will be back, and he said, meaning that Richard would come back from Mullumbimby. And don't get me wrong, we didn't have a romantic thing going. I wasn't in love with him. He was a fucking polyamorist. I don't go there with polyamorists. I find that lifestyle perverted and disgusting, actually. I wasn't going to fall in love with someone that's going to screw me and screw everything else and then bring that back into my sacred space. Fools. There was a kind of an energy and a fondness between us. You know, we were friends for a brief time. I told him he will be back, and he said I was wrong. And I said, I could care less, but I know one thing. The winds always blow people back to me, whether I like it or not. But Richard has played his little trickster game. Thank you. Now it's up to Dave to realise that although I teased him mercilessly about him being a failure at his intentions to be a spiritual guru, as he is too busy following me everywhere like a stalker, so I must be the guru after all, that I was only joking. I have a wicked and rather delicious sense of the absurd. So one thing came out of that conversation. He admitted he stalked me at the drumming circle. I just laughed. I don't need a PhD in man or life or trickster, hayoka, joker, schmucky spirits to work that out. Anyway, I stood at the sink and I smelled a rat, a big, fat, doobie smoking, bratty rat. Someone else is trying to lead me by the schnoz. I don't know who yet, but I will be quietly observing until Spirit shows me who the next game player is. As usual, sighs, the only way to win the game is not to play. I escaped from cruel, perverted, vicious, former Chabadniks, one who dared haunt my doorstep in 2016, 20 years ago. They wreaked havoc in my life, severely. I had to move house many times with my kids to get us to safety, but I eventually got over that. Scratching down the pearls I cast before schlemiels and psychopaths. You know, my darlings, they dissolve in vinegar, although what a dreadful waste of a precious gem. You know that when mermaids cry, their tears turn into pearls. I love Baroque pearls, as did my mother. We have expensive tastes in our family. Hashem counts a woman's tears, or so the Kabbalists taught, and I have cried rivers in my day. Torn my own heart out of my chest and pieced it back together and punched it back inside. and even locked it away for a long, long time. But I digress. What value has the crusted pearl that represents my encased, golden, kintsugi'd heart? It is of value only to me and the gods, and a few rare and precious souls who see me. The rest are just bit players and gamers and jokers. But it's all part of the tapestry of life, n'est-ce pas? I may have to unravel the story and begin again. I will forgive myself for not knowing the foul, deceitful, sabotaging intentions of former friends and lovers. I never could believe that one little bright light of a woman could generate that much hate, envy, and treachery. Even now, after all these years, it still knocks me off my feet. I had to lie down and rest today. My body knew before my mind caught up. Delayed trauma response. I also know when I am being groomed and tested. Not cool. Why can't people just accept me or love me for me? Am I really that scary? I have only ever been my own person and lived by my own truth. Is it my fault the rest of humanity cannot abide the truth? Or my subsequent rage when I am put in mortal danger over and over again? Aslan said to me wisely, there are many ways to kill or damage a person's body, but it is worse when they try to kill a soul. Paraphrasing here. What value is my tiny berserker soul to these loosh feeders? Surely it is of no more consequence than any other. But then I think who my greatest spiritual teachers have been in the last few years, and I smile. Funny old world, innit? Watching Unorthodox on Netflix about a Chabad woman who leaves the fold, pardon me, which by the way is a very difficult and dangerous and extremely courageous thing for a woman in Chabad to do. Here we have it again, 11:11, angel synchronicities. I told you I've gone through quite a few very spiritual days in the past week. I wonder what it all means. I guess I'll find out, won't I? Who my true lover man is that's ready, willing and able to make a commitment to me. Well, might not have even met him yet. And anyway, those of you who are so inclined, make a wish, my darlings. I have been in service and training for this all my life. Not sure where I'm going or who I will be with or even if I will survive. But my voice has been heard and I have been seen, and that is enough for me. How about you? Written in 2020, so I'm talking about my advocacy on social media against the COVID epoch. Here I posted a meme, handwritten love letters will never go out of style, and I commented, I had to write to myself as usual, winky face. No one's ever written me a love letter, people. Not ever. So I had one little tiny note left for me once, but and my stupid husband sent me 2 really inane postcards when he went to Norfolk Island at the very beginning of our romance. But that's it. No love letters for Mama T. So I wrote some to myself and posted them up here. I think I probably read them out to you in previous videos. And I tell you what, if no man will love you in all the beautiful, blessed, romantic, passionate, life-affirming, soul-nourishing ways, then, baby girls, love yourself in all those ways that no mortal man has ever or maybe will ever love you, and write yourself some really beautiful, encouraging, motivating, romantic letters, because it's an interesting exercise to see what flows out from your own soul and that you can direct back to you. And on dark days when you're grieving the loss of a lover or a friend or, family member or pets, when you look back on those letters, it's a great, great comfort to your soul, my darlings. It's sad though in a way, but that's what I've been left with, but it is what it is. 28th of March 2018. Nerve pain in my legs starting up again. Asthma still bad. I just had an Epsom salt bath to try to stave off issues with my leg. Time to attempt sleep now. I had my debrief today. My doctor agrees that my time on this planet is limited, and he is very proud of me for maintaining firm boundaries, as I cannot allow any further abuse in my life. I am utterly exhausted from fighting and fending off abuse all my life. Anyway, I have my dog and my cats. Don't even have them now. It's fucking tragic, people. And that is my small comfort in the night. I have had some hefty, weird spiritual encounters last week, and some oddly confusing romantic ones too. A gay guy trying to tongue kiss me was the most bizarre, but not as bizarre as the tranny friend offering to tongue kiss me the previous weekend. The irony is I have not kissed or allowed a man to kiss me or have sex with me for several years now. As far as I know, transgender, male to female, and gay men are not supposed to desire straight women for that level of intimacy. So what the fuck is going wrong with my mana, I want to know, laughing my ass off. And here we are 6 years later, still haven't been passionately kissed, and I still haven't had sex, because I'm not going there with a man unless I'm satisfied and can trust that he's completely, totally in love with me and only me, and choosing me and only me, and has eyes only for me, and that he will, that he's authentic and sincere and wanting to build a life with me. It's no good running around kissing people or having sex with people who are disingenuous. It just shits up your entire life, people. Well, for me anyway. Other people are a bit fast and loose with their loins and they don't get so soul desecrated as I do, and that works for them. Do what you want, whatever, but don't bring trash to my heart, body, mind and soul. Don't fake love for me, and don't think for one moment you're going to fuck me and use me like the others did 9 years ago. Anyway, all good. Just men pushing the Tanya as far as she will go, as they are either point scoring for the boys or curious to see if I am all I say I am. Interesting times. Lila Tov. Good night. I was the baby, but like an only child, as my half-sister married when I was 5. Mum still struggled to get my name right. Blame it on the benzos, the stress of working, violent, aggressive marriage, wartime PTSD. To be fair, she would have had complex PTSD because my grandmother was so violent to her raising her. And general schmuckdom. 28th of March 2017. Here I posted a beautiful photo, I'm not sure if you can see it, of the most exquisite sunset. Absolutely exquisite. And here I posted a photo of me and my friend Jo and Sally, that were my casino women friends. And they took me to have a wonderful lunch at Luke Nguyen's restaurant in the Treasury Casino. And we got to meet him, which was delightful. And he is the sweetest, kindest, most gentle soul. And we also got to sit, his wife was eating beside us, so we got to meet his lovely wife. And I was extremely happy and delighted to meet him. Absolutely wonderful couple they are. So, to Sally and Jo and to Luke Nguyen, it was a wonderful encounter. I wrote, guess who we met while dining at his restaurant? We met his lovely wife Lynn too. The food was superb. I had a food orgasm over the Padang coconut cream brulee. Luke suggested we have it for dessert, and seriously, oh my God, I thought I was in heaven. I'm very fond of desserts, people, and puddings and sweet things. My brush with fame, celebrity chef Luke Nguyen with my friends Jo and Sally. Sally and Jo invited me out to watch Beauty and the Beast and then to dine at Fat Noodles at the Treasury Casino. I couldn't remember the name of the restaurant, so I'm glad I recorded that. What a beautiful day. So blessed to spend time with my gorgeous friends. Having an absolutely lovely time. I just got a call from my friend Jo, who invited me to come see Beauty and the Beast and then have lunch with her and Sally. Oh yes, it's Auntie Rati. Rati's there, look. She's working hard for you, Charlie. She says, hi, Charlie. Say hello. Say hello. What's the matter? Yeah, it's a beautiful day. That's what I decided to make my video outside because we've had 5 days of rain and it's been depressing, and so I'll make the most of it. Yeah, Abdul, I messaged him and he doesn't respond to my texts, and the grass keeps growing, and now it's public holidays. I'm having a nervous breakdown over that. It's not good. It's not good what's happening. But he couldn't do it during the week anyway because it's raining all week. But communicate with me, So I can't. I'm busy, but I'm coming. Give me a time frame and calm my nervous system down for the love of all the gods. How do you say it? Alhamdulillah, inshallah, the grass will get mine, or Mama T's going to have to go to war. It's the war on the grass, not on you personally, don't get me wrong. Love you. She's used to my crazy ways. My young couch surfer is also going out for lunch today, so I can sneak out today. He has been lovely company also. He is staying tonight, then heading to Surfers Paradise, Coolangatta and Byron. Lucky guy to be spending a week in Byron. Ralph O'Connor, who's one of my Facebook friends, wrote, "Sounds like life treated you really well today, Tanya." Excuse me, indigestion. I haven't eaten breakfast, but I've got indigestion. What's with that? Anyway, these past few days have been lovely, Ralph. Also, my leg is much improved. I still get pain, but not as constant and intense as it was. I feel so relieved as I had been in agony for several months. Fingers crossed my health remains stable for a good long time now. Smiley face. Oh dear goddess, my health is never stable. But anyway, every day and every way, I just keep going. Hey Charlie, we're powerful spirits, you and I. We just keep going. 28th of March 2016. I wish I could afford a beautiful house in Byron Bay near the sea. Even renting is far out of my reach. It would take a miracle, but I will continue to dream it. Sometimes dreams come true. Sweet, innit? Poor Mama T. Literally, poor Mama T. Anyway, 28th of March 2014. Shabbat Shalom. Why is tonight different from all other nights? Tonight I get to visit with the actors from Sons of Anarchy. Tonight we ride. Not literally, by the way. That was a little bit of poetic hyperbole there. I had a wonderful lunch with the gorgeous Lynn and Annette at Cleveland Point. We had snapper and chips and enjoyed the lovely view of the sea, which I have been craving for weeks. After, I had a pistachio gelato, which my inner child was quite smug about. Now having a rest before I head out again with Gail to see Sons of Anarchy. Yippee-yi-yo! 4 a.m, insomnia again, so about to have a nice cup of tea watching some foreign film. Hopefully I get some sleep soon, as I have a lunch date with Lynn and Annette at 11 a.m. The rain has been lovely. Thank you, Hashem. But you can stop for now. Cheers. Thanks a lot. Isn't that interesting? All these years later, it's the same energy, having a lovely day after days of rain. 28th of March 2012. Still waiting for surgery and therefore still hungry and thirsty. Grrr. Jared wrote, hopefully the waiting will be over soon enough. More than 24 hours without food. I know what you get like missing just one meal. Ha ha ha, smarty pants. He's right though, I don't do hunger. I'm a berserker. This army fights on its belly. My friend Mavis wrote, "You didn't say you were going for surgery. Hope it goes well." I replied, "Emergency surgery, Mavis. I have an abscess in my left foot, septic arthritis, having IV antibiotics, feeling weak." She replied, "Hope it is better soon. Get into some raw garlic when you can. Might help." And another friend, Michelle Stevens, wrote, "How are you feeling now?" Oh, pain in my leg. I've got to stretch my leg out, people. Ouch. Ouch. 28th of March 2010. Tomorrow, Crystal, Jasmine, my friend Jared and I will be making our pilgrimage to King Island off Wellington Point to scatter Mum's ashes in the same place we put Uncle Case in 1995. I also kept a lock of her hair and put it in a locket with a lock of my own that Mum kept since I was a tiny tot. Sort of fitting that our DNA is kept together, lol. I hope nobody clones us though, as we like to be unique. So there's a story attached to that. I did indeed keep the lock of what I thought was my mother's hair with a lock of my own out of some weird kind of kismet sentimentality, because as you know, my mother was an evil fucking demon to me most of her life, but DNA is DNA and blood is blood, am I right? So after a few years after she died, I think it was about 3 or 4 years, I can't remember how it came about, but I pulled the 2 locks of our hair out of the, oh yes, I remember now. I pulled the locks of hair out of the beautiful locket that was my mother's that I had kept it in, and I was in a fit of pique about, all the shit she put me through and the evil rule dispute that I really suffered through. It was awful, and I thought, why am I keeping her energy with my energy and conjoining us? Because I need to let go of that enmeshment and that toxicity and that level of evil, right? So I took the locks of hair out here and I set fire to them. And with great astonishment, the lock of hair that was allegedly my mother's hair was nylon, and it melted like nylon. So that fucked up, evil, perverted Moreton Bay nursing care home where my mother languished and eventually died was giving out locks of hair to the grieving relatives from a wig. It was off a wig. Well, the horror, the ghastly horror when I realised it wasn't even my mother's actual hair. And I just went, anyway, it took me days to recover from the shock of that. But then I kind of had to laugh. I thought, oh, how sweet. All this time I've been carefully curating and preserving fake hair from a wig and feeling half-hearted about it because it was, my mother's hair. No, it wasn't even my mother's hair. Anyway, there was a kind of a soul retrieval and a kind of a release that occurred as a consequence of that. So once again, the gods and my spirit people, they know how to heal me in quite profound and astonishing and weird ways at times. But yeah, how fucking perverted though. Handing out people locks of hair saying, oh, here's something to remember your dead mother or father by, and it's not even real hair, and you don't realise it because you just tuck it away somewhere, and no one really looks that closely at it. You just assume it's their actual hair, am I right? So, trickster spirits and corrupt arseholes everywhere. Anyway, that home got eventually shut down, which I'm glad, because it was like a fucking Romanian orphanage the way they were running that place. It was completely evil, and I reported them to the Independent Visitor, and they must have come and inspected and saw actually what was going on, and not long after it was actually shut down, for which I'm deeply gratified, because I was traumatised the whole time I visited my mother there, seeing people being restrained and not fed properly and not clothed properly, men with Korsakoffs with giant enormous swinging penises running around naked and throwing chairs into the glass doors, and all the residents, the elderly ones, not being able to go out and use the garden because they had to keep that maniac outside and separated from them, and they were confined then to indoors. I mean, it was just feral, and it was worse than a fucking asylum. Anyway, eventually it all got resolved, and it's one of the reasons why I will suicide if I get a diagnosis of Alzheimer's or dementia, because I am not going to those holding camps of hell. Trust me on that one, babies. Anyway, hopefully I die some other congenial, peaceful, lovely way. Maybe if I'm lucky in my sleep. And still in 2010, my possum family are now eating out of our hands, and we're really happy with the half an apple we provided them tonight. 2 nights ago, the mother one ate an apricot out of Crystal's hand. These are wild possums. I can't believe they are so trusting. The downside is I have no strawberry seedlings left in the hanging basket, but I forgive them because they are adorable and obviously hungry. And my friend, long time ago friend Margot Salem wrote, I had one come into my house via open shutters and steal a pear from the fruit basket on my table. And Jared wrote, Tanya, they aren't so cute once they get into your house and ransack the kitchen. I am still trying to replace some of the things the little buggers smashed while climbing the kitchen cabinets. And 28th of March 2009, oh dear, I broke Marlena's diff. Marlena was a 1946 Mercedes that my ex-boyfriend Courtney inherited 2 Mercedes. So he lent Marlena to Crystal to drive around in, which was very kind of him, to be honest. And anyway, apparently I broke Marlena's diff, and now Courtney and Crystal are mega mad at me. I am no longer flavour of the month or year. It just reinforces the fact that I'm a failure even more. And I honestly don't even remember how it was I was supposed to have broken it. Bear in mind, he was stoned 24/7, right off his fucking chops. So he probably confabulated that whole thing. Because how would I even have broken it? Anyway, it was a very old car, and he was forever, he's an engine reconditioner by trade, and he was forever having to go in and fix things. But anyway, I got so much street cred though the night when I was at the Outlaw Clubhouse and my daughter dropped me off in Marlena. All the men were out the front and they all went, whose car is that? Because bikies they often like to do custom cars. And I said, it's my ex's actually. I said, but he's letting my daughter use it for as long as she wants while she's at university. Oh, they said, is it for sale? Will you sell it to us? And I went, well, I could ask, but I don't think so. And they went, oh, that's an awesome car. And they're all looking at me with real newfound respect. But anyway, it was actually quite delightful how they all went mad over that car. Actually, Courtney probably should have sold it to them. Can't remember what he did with it in the end. Crystal eventually, after we'd broken up quite some time, actually, I said to her, we don't want any contracts with the devil to give the bloody car back. And she agreed anyway, and it was time to move on and move past all that gross insanity, really. But no, credit where it's due, it was kind of him to let her drive around in that car for about 3 years. 3 years, so I suppose he wasn't a total bastard. However, threatening me with brass knuckle dusters and getting his friends to threaten me with a samurai sword was not cool, and it was a bit touch and go that night since I was clear-headed and sober, right? But anyway, life goes on. Don't miss him, and I'm only inviting beautiful, soul-nourishing, sweet, kind, generous, respectful, authentic men into my life now. And as soon as I start smelling a rat, it's like I'll be characteristically moving on, as I've learnt through decades of trauma. You sometimes have no choice but to do, even if your heart's completely, utterly broken. It's sometimes all that is left to do. But I'm looking forward to the time when I no longer have to move on, because I'm with the one who treats me with honour, integrity and deep respect and truest, deepest love. So on that beautiful, sweet little fantasy baby, I'm going to bid you goodbye. It's now 11:40 a.m. and I'm tired and I'm wrung out, but I'm happy, and wishing all the Christians that watch my channel happy Easter, and wishing my Jewish people Passover is coming, happy Passover, and atheists have a happy day regardless of where you are in the space-time continuum, and all the rest of my magical people, love to you all. Be happy, be safe, and be in love with each other and your own souls. Bye for now. Speak to you tomorrow. Try to find the stop button on this. Bye, my darlings.